Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of a video that I filmed almost a year ago that was called Underrated and Hidden Gems, Fragrances That You Need to Know About. That video featured 14 fragrances. I will link that video below. Would love for you to go check that out if you haven't already. I am going to, in the spirit of that video, stick to 14 fragrances for this one as well. So for me, the criteria when I looked at my fragrance collection and thought about what should be in this video, it is fragrances that I think should get more hype on YouTube. Should get more hype on YouTube. Period. End of story. Overall, these are fragrances that barely get any love, especially in comparison to some of the houses that we hear about frequently, like your Maison Francis Kurkdjian, like Parfums de Marly, like Roja, like some of the designer homes, Guerlain, Lancome, Armani, YSL, etc. So these are a little bit more hidden in that very few, if any, YouTubers are talking about them. A few of the ones that I'm going to talk about I have mentioned on my channel, but not very often. Like even I don't feature these as much as they should be and get shine. So let's get right to it. I'm going to kick off with a fragrance that I've worn just a few times, but every time I wear it, I get compliments from everyone around me, men, women, whoever's near me. It's like, oh, you smell really pleasant. It is Deep Red by Hugo Boss. What I love most about this fragrance is that it sort of flies under the radar in terms of a scent. You put it on, you think it's a nice smell, you go on about your business, and everyone around you is like, wow, 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 what do you have on, etc. It's got pear and black currant at the top. So black currant is super sweet. As you know, pear can be very sweet as well. The two of those combined are just sweet and fresh at the top. And then there's ginger and tuberose in the middle. Beautiful like sweetness. You get the ginger, which is a little bit of spice. You get some florals. And then I love that at the base you have vanilla and sandalwood together, excuse me. So it's a really pleasant fragrance. And in this COVID world, people have smelled this through masks and complimented me, and it's super affordable. I think you can get this on FragranceNet for in the, I don't know, $30 to $40 range, somewhere in there. So check this out, Deep Red by Hugo Boss. Another fragrance that is hidden but shouldn't be and is super affordable. You can get this for under 15 bucks easily. It's 007 by Eon Productions. I'm giggling because it's such a cute little fragrance, and of course it's 007, so it reminds me of James Bond. I did a dedicated review video on this, and I will spare you me singing the James Bond music I do in the video. This is a powdery little number that is mostly like this sweet raspberry vanilla kind of fragrance. I love the little tiny bottle with the facets here, whatever you call that. There's a name for this that's escaping me right now, but there's rose in here as well, in addition to the fruit and a little bit of floral, and it's super sweet. It's just a very girly little number for a super affordable price, and it definitely needs more love. It doesn't last a super longish. You'll get a few hours out of this, but at under $13, $14, somewhere in that range. I think I got this actually for like $12 and some odd cents. I mean, come on, this is a steal, and it's tiny enough to stick in your purse and just respray and smell just pretty, light, fluffy, sweet, and girly. Next, I have to talk about a fragrance that I really adore. I love the bottle. I love just the whole idea of it. It is, well, let's pause and look at this crazy bottle that could potentially be super gaudy, but I kind of like. It is called La Belle et l'Ocelot by Salvador Dali. Boy, did I have a hard time pronouncing this when I first reviewed it. I also have a dedicated review on this. You can find this on the gray market for under $50. I think it's like in the $30 to $50 range, and it is one of the most elegant, affordable fragrances, a very grown-up scent. I think in the review video, I described it as though Shalimar, Coco Mademoiselle, and maybe like Chanel number 5. I don't remember the 3 powerhouses, but all in that range got together, had a brunch, and the smell that they all brought with them was wafting through the air and smells like this. It is like one of those powerhouse scents from the 80s, if you will, that has heavy florals, amber, maybe some citrus, maybe some aldehydes, and combines into just an elegant grown-up scent that is a very sort of distinguished smell. And it's super affordable in this crazy bottle. Now, if I understand La Belle et l'Ocelot, it could be a play, as someone mentioned in the comments of that video, on Beauty and the Beast, like a version of that, which I think is a really cool interpretation of the name. Next is one that I haven't heard anyone talk about on YouTube, and I'm not sure why. It's called Monsoon Rose Gold. This fragrance, it's a very sort of floral fragrance. Maybe there's some rose in here. I detect something sweet, perhaps something like a pear note, maybe a berry note. So it's sweet and floral, and it's light. There's something so light and ethereal and bright about this. I'm going to enjoy wearing this in the spring. I admit I haven't worn this often, maybe just to bed at night. So I can't tell you about the longevity. I can tell you when I wake up, it's very, very super faint. So I don't know that it's a very long lasting fragrance, but it is very pretty and very nice for warm days. I could see this being a beautiful choice in the late spring into the summer when it heats up dramatically and you want something light and bright and fun. Monsoon Rose Gold might be the number for you. Highly inoffensive, really great for elevator settings or any other kind of environment where you're going to be, I'm joking about the elevator, of course. You don't choose fragrances for elevators, but my point is when you are in close quarters with people, this might be one of those fragrances that you enjoy having on because you will smell nice, but you won't knock anyone out. Know what I mean? Next, I have a Middle Eastern fragrance that I haven't heard anyone talk about, and I'm gonna tell you what, this fragrance here is an absolute beauty. It is Sabah al Ward by Watania. Look at this bottle. So it's not like the most luxurious bottle. Obviously, this is made out of plastic and all of that, but how cute is that? This is a fragrance that I super enjoy spraying when I want to feel feminine and pretty, and it is incredibly inexpensive. I think I got this for under $30, like between $20 and $30 on the Aroma Concepts website. Super affordable and a beauty. It's a lot like Givenchy L'Interdit meets, let's say, like La Vie Belle meets La Belle from Jean-Paul Gaultier. It's sweet, it's like fruity, it's floral, it's vanillic, it's got jasmine in it, and orange blossom and vanilla, and it's just a sweet, feminine dream of a fragrance. So lovely. And it's moderate longevity and projection. You're not going to get like a full day's wear out of this, but it is gorgeous while it lasts, and it's just, it makes you feel like you're put together. Really, really nice. As we look ahead to spring, I have to mention a gem from last year that is super affordable, and I haven't heard anyone mention. It is Notebook Citrus and Green Tea. I like this bottle. I like that it's my only yellow bottle. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I have Agent Provocateur Electric, I think it's called, that has white and yellow in it. So there's that. But this fragrance is such a pleasant one for warm weather, and I will talk about it again as we get into the spring and summer. Huge bottle. Well, is it that huge? Well, it's 100 mils, just like any other 100 ml bottle, but it looks big. And it's $30, and it's exactly what it says. It is a beautiful citrus and green tea smelling fragrance that's fresh and clean and delightful. And although it doesn't last the longest, it smells a lot more expensive than what it is. Next, I bring you a fragrance that I didn't talk about in my Middle Eastern video. If you haven't checked that out, please do. It's like gems, Middle Eastern gems or something like that. I'll link it below. I didn't talk about this in that video because a lot of people don't know about this, and it's kind of a standalone for me, but it is Wisal Dhahab from Ajmal. I love the bottle design on this. It's clear right in the middle, but it has this Middle Eastern motif. It has some fruit at the top, but mostly what you get out of this is like a woody rose fragrance. It has sprayed it on here because it's so pretty. Has a little bit of patchouli also. It's a woody rose and it's nice. What I like about this is although it has like what would appear to be a heavy scent profile, it's actually fairly light in the air. So it's not an overwhelming fragrance. However, if you're not into Middle Eastern fragrances, if you don't like heavy woody rose, potentially oudi and musky too kinds of fragrances, don't play around with this. You might not like it. But if you like that whole sort of world of fragrances and you're looking for something like that that's maybe a little bit lighter, try checking out Wisal Dhahab. I mentioned this next one in my last video, so I won't go into a lot of detail, but it's worth repeating and it is a very hidden gem. It is, I think it's pronounced Aigner, Etienne Aigner that makes the shoes and I think clothing also, but it's Debut by Night. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. You can see the dent that I've put in it as well. Let me straighten it out. Okay, the dent's about right there. For it to be new and for me to have used it that much is saying a lot. It is a rosy, patchouli, woody, gorgeous fragrance. Excellent for when you want to stand out and have a little bit of an edgy fragrance that's still very feminine and still very sophisticated. Absolutely gorgeous. Next is Midnight Amber from Oscar de la Renta. This is a really, really nice fragrance. It doesn't last a super longish. You get a good half day to like maybe after lunch out of it. It's amber, it's oud, there's some sweetness in here. There's some vanilla, there's some florals. It's very pretty and feminine, but with a little bit of a masculine edge to it. So it's still on the feminine side, but has just that little bit of edge to keep it interesting. I think the bottle is gaudy and cute at the same time. But if you want an affordable amber that has a really nice twist to it with the oud and the florals and the sweetness, I think there's a little spice in here as well. This is a really great option and super affordable, and I don't hear anyone talking about this. I like this. A dedicated review on this next fragrance a while back, and I think I threw in some makeup in the video just for a bonus. Anywho, it is called Charriol, and this is the Eau de Parfum Concentration. I think this smells like Coco Mademoiselle lightened up and with a little bit of a tropical edge. In the winter, this smells more ambery and serious, and as you get into the warmer months, there's a mango and tropical thing happening in here. I believe there's frangipani in here too that gives this almost like a tropical flair, but a really sophisticated and thick smelling tropical fragrance, but not cloying. I think this is definitely a hidden gem and super affordable. Again, this is another one of those like $20 to $30 fragrances on the gray market and worth picking up. I cannot believe that this next fragrance has not been raved about on YouTube because it is so pretty. And maybe it's because no one can find the notes, so they're intimidated to either pick it up or to review it. I think it is beautiful. It is Borouj Modernity. If you've watched my channel, you know that I super duper love Gravity from this line. And I have Perlador and Amasat Oud from the line as well. And I also have the one in the silver bottle. This fragrance smells to me like the most luxurious shampoo mixed with like a woody fragrance. Like if a woody fragrance, somebody poured luxury shampoo in there and a bit of a melon note, you might get something like this. It's in this beautiful purple bottle. It's fairly long lasting and it's a crowd pleaser. When I wear this, my family loves it. They all think that I smell really nice. It's like, mom, wife, whatever, you smell good. What do you have on? It's worth picking up. It's not the most affordable right now. I think it's somewhere in the $60 to $80 range, but it's still under 100, which is saying a lot compared to some of the fragrances that are getting very, very hyped up here on YouTube. So check this out, Borouj Modernity. Next is one that I admittedly do not reach for as often as I probably should, and I need to bring it to the front of the shelf. I've worn it a couple of times, but it deserves a lot more love than I give it. And it is Honey, or Pure Honey rather, by Kim Kardashian. It has the little bee on the bottle, which I think like a bee charm glued to the bottle. It's so cute. The bottle itself, I don't know what I think about it. It does sit flat, so I appreciate that, but way too like multifaceted for my taste and for what it is. This is a very like a clean honey fragrance. If you can imagine a shampooy honey fragrance, you might get an idea of what this smells like. The other thing that stands out to me about the notes is that this has some honeysuckle in it. So you get that like sweet floral with vanilla in it as well. So it's sweet and it's clean and it's honey and it's shampooy all at the same time. This would make a great everyday fragrance for those of you that like that kind of scent profile. I think this is a nice little gem and super affordable, and no one talks about it. Pure Honey. For these last two fragrances, I believe that I have dedicated single reviews, and if you want to see them, you can, in the YouTube search bar, type in Veronica Says plus the name of the fragrance. I'm going to start with Boucheron's Quatre in Rose. Super duper pretty bottle. Look at this gorgeous frosted bottle with this gold hardware at the top, and the way that you get to the atomizer is just by screwing it down, like turning it down. So pretty. This is, I don't know what it smells like. It's a fresh, light, citrusy rose. When you think about rose, you typically have sweet notes with it, or oud, or something. You don't always see citrus with rose. This has citrus and rose and a little bit of muskiness to it. Very, very light musk. It's not like a heavy musk fragrance, but it is such a pretty, feminine, adult, light fragrance. It's not overpowering. It won't knock folks out, but it will project nicely in a sweet little bubble around you and have people wondering what is the sophisticated light scent that you're smelling, and it'll be Quatre in Rose. Very, very nice. I'll end this video with one that I haven't heard anyone talk about, but as I mentioned, I do have a dedicated review on it, and I think it is probably one of the prettiest, nicest hidden gems. And of nothing else in this video, maybe you want to go check this one out. It is Zadig and Voltaire, Girls Can Do Anything. And it looks like it's in this cute little like half soda bottle. This has a really gorgeous pear note in it that is accompanied by a little bit of citrus, some tuberose, vanilla, and tonka bean. So it's sweet and fresh and fruity and floral all at the same time. I love that this fragrance stays young. It's like a youthful scent. It never gets too serious, but it's also not like a juvenile scent profile. It is just on the playful side of girly, maybe even a little bit flirty, just fun, innocent fun, makes you think about being young and full of life and doing cartwheels in the gym and being girly and owning the world. Girls can do anything, as this says. You're on top of the world. You can do it all. What a beautiful, sweet pear, but citrusy, but musky and vanilla-y light fragrance. I would highly advise you to get your nose on this beauty. That concludes the video for today. Would love to know what you think of these fragrances. And if you have any hidden gems that you'd like us to know about, please drop them in the comments. Share the wealth. You know, we're all here to learn from each other. You as a viewer have just as much to contribute to these videos in the comments as anyone actually on the other side of the screen. You have your own collections and your own thoughts and your own feelings about fragrances, and they're all welcomed in the comments. And believe it, people read each other's comments. So please, please, please drop your gems in the comments so that we can enjoy them with you. Thanks so much for spending some time with me, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, my friends.